Now, let's talk about the Boston Bruins. Now, the Boston Bruins are interesting. And I'm going to rewind the clock. Boston Bruins, a couple of years ago, after signing him to an extension, Cam Neely, I believe, and who's the general manager?
Don Sweeney.
Don Sweeney was the guy who did it. Invited then coach Bruce Cassidy over to his living room and said, "Bruce,
invited him to his own living room.
You've done nothing but win games for us. Nothing but win games. But the playoff success is not what we need, despite the fact that you have just embarrassed the Toronto Maple Leafs in key games." I specifically talk about that. But if I want to go to, he lost in the first round, lost in the second round, lost in the finals, lost in the second round, lost in the second round, lost in the first round. So he loses in the first round, and they're like, you know what, Bruce, that record's shit. Get the fuck out of Boston.
Fuck off to Vegas and go win a cup.
Yeah, and he immediately wins a cup. Now they bring in Jim Montgomery. And Jim Montgomery is an interesting coach. This is a guy who coached the Dallas Stars, lost in the second round, and then he was fired midway through the next year, I think, or there was some sort of So, so then he was an assistant in St. Louis for a couple of years, and then he takes over the Boston Bruins. And at first, the firing of Bruce Cassidy looks like a really great idea because I remember that particular run going into the playoffs. Jesse said, and he was right about this, the Vegas Golden Knights are kind of mid at everything.
Which is a great thing.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. Because they're like, they're decent in all areas.
But then Jesse, everybody's like, fuck off. The Bruins won 65 games.
Yeah.
That's so many games.
That's a lot of games. It's a lot of games.
The most games ever.
Who cares who's mid at everything? What about a team that's good at everything? And then they go up 3-1 against the Florida Panthers.
Who were not the Florida Panthers of last year.
No.
That team was not very good.
That team became that team. And the year before, by the way, the Florida Panthers had won the the President's Trophy. And Andrew Burnett had won the Jack Adams. And
he got fired.
And he got fired for winning that.
Or just not.
And then they just were not good. They had an up and down season and whatever. And Paul Maurice all of a sudden is their coach.
They got hot down the stretch.
And there was a specific game in Toronto where Keith Tkachuk got on the radio here and said, the team looks soft. And what did they do? They fucking pummeled the Leafs that night. and then they went on a run.
And I called it that night, or that day. I was like, the Panthers are soft? They were never soft. But they were soft to the standard that they had set.
That's right.
Clearly. And your team's star's dad,
now,
who also happens to be a very well-respected retired NHL player, calls you soft, and Paul Maurice is your coach, it's gonna make you feel some kind of way.
So
that killed everyone.
That's happening, but again, no one's paying attention to that. That's just Toronto being Toronto. It's just the Leafs,
man.
And you got a team that's on pace for history. They scored the most points in NHL history, most wins in NHL history. They're up 3-1. They have a Vezina goalie in net, but he's injured. And he didn't play really well in Game 5, did he?
No.
But I guess, do you try him again?
Let's let him go.
Try him again. Oh, damn.
Oh, damn.
This series is tied. And then they lose. And the Florida Panthers go on to the Stanley Cup final.
And they blow it late in Game 7, too.
Yeah, they did. Now, okay, fine. Shit happens. The team went to the finals. Whatever. So then they put up 47 wins, which is still really good.
And they had a better start.
Yes. And they've got those two goalies. One coming off of Vezina, this hotshot rookie from Alaska who's amazing. Well, he's not a rookie anymore, but you know what I'm saying. Young guy. And they go up 3-1 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mm-hmm. And the Toronto Maple Leafs win Game 5 and 6. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at Jim Montgomery like, you're not going to do this again. And of course he's not. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
If they lost Game 7, it would have been his last game as coach. I think he would have been fired.
But they lost definitively in the second round.
Yep.
The Panthers steamrolled them.
Smacked them. Yep.
This year, they are 4-6-0. One of those wins is against the Leafs.
Which is hilarious.
Which is honestly, that's a free spot.
Yep.
That's free parking for them.
Leafs got a point there, which I think is better than anyone anticipated.
Last night, They allowed 3 goals.
Maddie, you good over there?
Yeah, Maddie, you all right?
She just went like involuntarily.
It sucks, right? Doesn't it suck? It sucks so bad. It sucks so bad.
That's so funny.
It sucks so bad. And everybody's like, why are you so hard on the Leafs? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, for sure. So then, after that, your Galaxy Brain general manager who fired the guy, the next Stanley Cup winning coach at his living room a summer before he went on to win it.
Did not get adequate criticism for it.
And has done other things that are sus. Then him and the management group, they're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to trade the guy who won a Vezina Trophy a year ago for Eunice Korpisalo, who hasn't been great. He was okay in LA when he was there.
Yeah.
Had a terrible year in Ottawa. And we're going to do it before we sign the guy of our future, even though he doesn't have a deal. And over about, if reports are to be believed, about $4 to $5 million over 8 years, the Boston Bruins made Jeremy Swayman sit out camp. And then all of a sudden, it was getting close to the end, and they said, "Fine, we'll give you your 8-year, $8 million."
Got into
or
a very
8
public spat with him.
very public spat. And so your goalie, who you're relying on to play probably 50 games this year, has missed the entire camp. Over $5 million over the next 8 years. Sorry, guys, that's like $600,000.
It was. I think it was less than that.
That's peanuts.
Yeah.
Because the most they'd offered to that year was to that point was 7.8 over 8 million. And then they finished at 8.1.
According to friggin' Cam Neely, it was 64.
Well, they hadn't offered that yet.
64 million reasons.
And he signed for 66. Swayman missed camp. Hard to catch up after that. Now, the Bruins, it'd be nice if they played a little defense in front of him.
Right.
But he was pulled last night. That team let in 3 goals in under a minute against the Carolina, way better than we thought, Hurricanes. Did you know that?
Why do we keep underestimating that hockey team?
I know, it's pretty stupid.
Rod the bod, baby.
Well, we
Rod
kept doing
the
it with-
friggin' bod.
So here's what happens in the first period. You got Roslovic, who's got 5 goals. Wow. And then on the power play, Marchand ties it up. And then with 3 minutes to go, guys, in the first period, you get into the danger zone of, don't let people score. Svechnikov at 7:14. Jackson Blake, close to Jesse Blake, relation.
No. Zero.
At 17:52. And that Marty Necas at 18:06. That is 3 goals in less than a minute. 2 tip-ins and a snapshot.
So that's what they're allowing.
That's what they're allowing.
Can we talk about what's going in?
Sure, please.
David Pastrnak, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points in 11 games. Pretty good. That's maybe a bit behind what you expect of him, but that's good. That's good enough to be getting on. What has everyone else got? Well, the second leading scorer on the Bruins, it's a 3-way tie. Brad Marchand with 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points in 11 games. Again, good. Probably a little below what you expect out of him.
But Brad Marchand's like 36.
Yeah. Tied with, you guessed it, Cole Koepka
Yeah.
and Mark Kastelik. Now, there's a world where you look at this and you go, Mark Kastelik and Cole Koepka have 7 points each in 11 games. These guys are probably steamrolling everyone. No one else is showing up. Lindholm, 6 points in 11 games. He's making a lot more than that. And he's also got the same stat line as John Beecher. At least your fourth line is clicking. And then beyond that, no one has more than 4 points. Mason Lohrei, Hampus Lindholm. Like, where are some of the... Okay, Brazo's there. That's good. Patra.
Where's Zaka?
Where the frig is Zaka? He's got 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points in 11 games. Morgan Geekie has 1 assist in 9 games. Charlie Coyle has a goal, 0 assists in 11 games.
Did the goal come against the Leafs? Because that would be poetic.
I don't think so, but probably.
Okay. In spirit.
No one's scoring. Other than the fourth line.
Well, and if they'd taken a look at Elias Lindholm's performance in Calgary and Vancouver last year, he wasn't scoring at the clip that he used to.
Oh, he can at least be a good 2-way player.
Yes, but they needed scoring. And
For a team they had their crazy goaltending tandem.
Yep.
They looked at that and they went, this is a luxury that we can no longer afford. We got to get deeper. They went out and they got deeper. Big money on Zadorov, big money on Lindholm, and it has not borne fruit. Borne fruit? Bared fruit.
I think either works.
They haven't gotten fruit from it. They have not been to the store. And I don't know how you fix, hey, no one's scoring.
Well, this is where it comes down to the two guys making all the decisions. It's Cam Neely and it's Don Sweeney. And we know that Charlie Jacobs has defended them repeatedly. And we know that the easy switch here is Jim Montgomery.
For who?
Exactly. Not ideal in the middle of the season.
Joel Quenneville.
We're all just waiting for someone to push the button.
I would assume somebody's going to do it.
It's happening this year.
Probably.
Like Jay Woodcroft will coach in the NHL again, but it'll be after Quenneville gets hired.
Well, if you want your team to score, he'd be an okay guy. But someone's going to push the button. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be them.
Just
Jim
saying.
Montgomery has won you so many damn games. You said they won 47 last year?
Yeah.
So 47 plus 60.
He's won over 120 games in the last 2 years.
There's 100,
130, I think.
112.
112?
Well, over those 2 seasons.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. And then on
He doesn't get a little bit more rope?
I mean, what's standard, though? How sideways can this go?
They miss Jake DeBrusk,
Yes, they do.
which is crazy. Can
Very
you imagine this conversation a few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you fix that. You gotta fix it from within. And right now, no one outside of the fourth line for some reason has shown up.